Make sure you pick up my 2 books that's in Amazon right now. The first one is Passive Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy. And I talk about in that particular book how the system of white supremacy really runs and on our daily lives here in America. In our latest book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, we go through those steps to try to deprogram you from the system of white supremacy. Make sure you can pick up those books on Amazon.com. Hey family, make sure you join us on the new and improved AfricanDiasporaNews.org. Now, it is our uncensored and raw truth website. We have to make sure to have our own website because on social media platforms, they do have rules, and at any time they could change a rule and shut a whole genre down. Now, that would not happen to us because on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, we can speak the truth. We don't have to hold back. So make sure you join our website today. Box below, hit that link, just sign up. Cecil Global and African Diaspora News Channel presents the Ghana Luxury Property Tour. It will be a 8-day tour coming to you starting October 1 through October 8, 2023. Now, you enjoy a 5-star stay at a hotel, the finest properties in Ghana. You connect with industry professionals. You will also visit cultural landmarks, have a meet and greet with the team, and so much more. Make sure that you go to the description box below, hit that link, just sign up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here. I'm running a little bit behind today, but I had some business to take care of and, had to eat, dinner, I guess early lunch, with the family. There's talking and everything. Normally I try to do more of that on Saturday, but my wife had some cake tastings that she had to attend for some customers. And so, we're always going to make sure that, my wife can do her business and the things that she needs to do. Let me check something out. All right, I hear myself pretty good, so I don't have to worry about it. So how everybody doing, on this Sunday, the beginning of the week? Usually I like to take off on Saturdays. Some people could say it's the Sabbath day. Some people just say it's a good day. But I try to keep, at least for myself, a 6-day work week because it's so much going on, at least until I can have the luxury for a 2 days off. I don't have the luxury yet. At one point in time, for years, I was working 7 days a week, not taking a day off. So for me to even say I'm gonna take a Saturday off is something new. And I actually started instituting taking the Saturday off actually in 2023. And I'm going to make sure to put more things in place where I can actually take 2 days off, but we'll get there. So before we get started, with our message down here, let me check the chat real quick. People, come on in. Make sure you click the like button if you like what we're about to get into. Of course, we're going to take care of business first. I saw something earlier before we got started. There was a commenter by the name of Rob. He actually subscribed to the channel because the way I have my chat set up is subscribers only. So if you like to chat and you're watching right now, just subscribe to the channel. You can join the chat. But a viewer named Rob had an issue with the topic of the video, the live stream today. And, so I had to make sure to help Rob, because he really did not like the topic. I think he made a comment about, there's another video whining about the Democrats again. So that means the content wasn't to Rob's liking. And if it's not to your liking, and I see that, I'll make sure to help you, to encourage you to maybe go places that's going to do some things that you may like, because listen, what I do is not for everybody. The way I speak is not for everybody. My tone is not for everybody. I get it. Even though I don't think my tone is too bad, but I understand people are different. So I had to help Rob and just go ahead on and get Rob out the chat, and then he can go on and maybe he can go with Boulay Martin or something like that. And then, he can hear all the praising, of Democrats that he wanted to hear. So, I just ran a commercial just now. We'll go through this for the Ghana tour. I've been mentioning the Ghana tour and all of that. It's going to be a real estate and property tour. Many of y'all have told me for years, way back when I went to Ethiopia in 2018. Oh, and I think we did the first tour was in Kenya, 2019. Oh, when y'all gonna do one to Ghana? Well, we know. Then we went to South Africa. Then I had a Ghana question again. Went back to Kenya. Had another Ghana question again. Okay, things worked out where we can now do something with Ghana. Once again, I tell y'all, I do this for the sake of the people because, you know, that's what we do it for y'all. So on this tour, we'll go through it. It's supposed to be from October 1 through 8, okay, in October, for 25 people only. Now, I did present this to our YouTube channel members, our Patreon members, and our website members first, so they can get an opportunity to get in on it early, because usually when people want to go, because Ghana did pretty good with their marketing, I give them that. But they also have a lot of Black Americans behind the scenes helping them with certain things, and when you come together, it works like that. When you bring in the diaspora and brothers and sisters on the continent work together, it's a great team. It's when we going against each other when you're not a good team. So all the marketing that came together, there's so many brothers and sisters in the diaspora that's in Ghana that's doing great things. So we have this tour going to Ghana, and I told y'all before, I will not do any kind of tour if it's not right and if it's not comfortable for my people who will go, okay? So 25 people. This is a time to go do it. Do it right now, because if not, I don't want to get emails later like I always get. Well, Phil, I would like to go. Like, well, did you put down deposit? Of course, deposit don't go to me. I never hold anybody's money. But I'm going to go through what you see on the site. So right now, in the chat, at the top, in the pinned comment, you can click that. And if you're the kind of person that really want to go to Ghana, now, it's not just going to sightsee. It's also talking about looking at real estate. So looking at real estate makes things a reality for you. Could you live there? Do you like what they being offered? You can ask many questions. Many of y'all send me questions, and I'm not a realtor. So I can't ask them your questions. I can't, but they can. Now, when I go back to South Africa here in another month or so, I'm going to talk to some realtors too, so I can get some things going what I want to do, right? So you will have access to talking to realtors, seeing properties, outside of sightseeing and buying things and all that. And but let's go here. Let me get to where I need to get to. Just give me 2 seconds. Get it back to my screen here. 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. All right. So let me go back at the top. So if you click that link that is actually in the pinned comment, this is where it will take you. This landing page right here. Okay. So as you get on this landing page, as you can see, you say Ghana Property Tour. You know, you can read all that. And we'll go to the itinerary here in a minute so you can see it for yourself. Just letting you know what's inclusive here, you know, all of that, what's not inclusive. Of course, your flight from your house to the location, which has always been that way with any kind of tour that we have done. You know, I think so far they've flown into New York multiple times. You know, you get your own flight to New York. And when you get back to New York, you fly yourself back. I'm not saying they're going to use New York. It could be New York or D.C. I don't know. Of course, you know, what's not included is the early check-in or late check-out, all the airport departure taxes and all that. Of course, if you're the type of person that like to change 3 and 4 times a day, then nobody's going to cover your excess baggage. Of course, you know, passport fees is on you. Meals are not specified in the itinerary. Of course, if you're going to the place you're eating, you need to stay an extra day. Because I remember when I went to Kenya, I had to go to New York and stay. So, of course, that wasn't covered. Even though I had a deal, a lot of my things were covered. I had to pay for that on my own for me and my family. Of course, you know, drinks, laundry, all that stuff is on you. Gratuities, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get into gratuity a little bit later because some people got to understand the culture of certain places. Then you have, of course, trip plan. They tell you what's not included, right? So let's go to the next screen. If you go to the itinerary, okay? So this is the itinerary screen. And they say they only represent verified property developers selling new or near new properties. Title searches and transfers are straightforward. So on October 1, you arrive in Accra, Ghana. Transfer your airport to the hotel overnight to the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. That is a 5-star hotel, and you will get dinner that day. Now, of course, on that Monday, there's a workshop event, and Accra City tour option. So early in the morning, you go to breakfast, you participate in that workshop at the hotels, and afterwards you depart for a sightseeing tour of Accra, Ghana. They say you experience the city's highlights, during the Accra orientation. Of course, it's the capital of Ghana since 1877. It's also the capital of the Greater Accra region, in addition to the country's most popular cities. They travel through the administrative and economic districts of Accra and also see the Aristo Alliance Gallery, W.E.B. Du Bois Center for Pan-African Culture, and Independence Black Star Square. You learn about important events in Ghana's history and the country's first president who helped lead to Ghana independence. Then, of course, you continue to tour the National Museum of Ghana. It's in the Ghanaian capital of Accra. It's also the largest and oldest of the 6 museums under the administration of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. They say the museum building was opened on the 5th of March, 1957. Now, of course, on the other side of the world, ladies and gentlemen, they don't do like we do here, where they put the month, day, and year. They put the day, month, and year. That's kind of like I had to get used to that too. They say as part of, the Ghana Independence Celebration, in the day, they tour the Art Center, which participants can sharpen their bargaining skills to shop for goods from the market in West Africa. Okay, now let me talk about this bargaining. Now let me get on screen, because I gotta educate y'all on this bargaining. So, in the African continent, it's about bargaining, okay? And I'm gonna say something that's true, but some people may not like it, okay? Because we come from America, and they do this to anybody. Anybody come from the Western world. Let's say if something cost originally, let's say it cost 20 CDs, like 20 Ghanaian, CDs. Because we coming from the Western world, they'll upcharge it sometime in those markets to, let's say, maybe double, or maybe a double and a half. Now, some say, hey, right, why would they do that? So the key to that is one of two things. Either you take a local person with you and tell them to go buy it, or whatever number they give you, drop the number low. Like, so if they told you it's 40, I'm paying 15. It's 40. Well, you know what? No problem, bro. We good. I'm only paying 15. See you later. All right, wait. Hold on. Okay, you bargain good. How about 30? How about 15? Oh, come on, man. I needed my kids. I said, man, I feel you. I said, but you can take this 15 and get something for your kids, right? Or you can take nothing. Which one you want? Nah, I can't do that. All right. God bless you. Hold on. Wait. Come back. Okay. Oh, you really know how to bargain, don't you? Yeah. It's 15? How about 20? All right, I'll let you have 20. Like that. That's how you got to do it. It's not like no price. It's like here in America, the price is the price. You can't bargain it. Now, if you're a person that like to bargain and negotiate, you good. But if you're that kind of person that just can't do that or have no problem walking away from something, because me, how I feel about it, I can easily walk away from anything. Because if it's not attached to my body and I was good before I got there, that means I'll be good walking away from it. So it doesn't bother me, but that's the game. That's how it is. Also, tipping. Let's talk about tipping. I know, because I even talked to my daughter about this when she was a waitress. She told me that the stereotype for some of us is true, that we don't like the tip. When you over there, when they do something for you, they want a tip. That's just kind of how it is. If you don't like tipping, either you got to get into it, but the tipping isn't much anyway, right? I asked about the Mzungus last time in Kenya, and they said, man, I was told when you tip like a Mzungu tips. I said, okay, good. Because I'm getting great service. I'm always getting a smile on their face. They're not having an attitude with me. They're treating my family great. Why can't I give them a good tip, right? I give tips here in America. They sit up there and say the 20%. I press the 20%, and then I pay them. Or sometimes I may give them more if they did a good, even better job than the 20%. So always have a heart of giving. You know, the scriptures teach, give and it shall be given unto you. I will tell you from personal experience. The more I start giving in my life, the more I start getting. Real talk. And when I was real stingy, when I had that attitude like, that's their job, I'm not doing that. I mean, shoot, they ain't like, if they want more money, tell them go get another job. I used to be that way about people in the service industry and all of that. I'm not like that now because I understand that, and I've also worked in the service industry at one point in time, not as a waiter, but just doing other things. Like when I was working as a dishwasher at the Holiday Inn, I used to have to go do tray runs, picking up trays, and so many different things I had to do and watch what waiters and waitresses go through or different people. I feel for people in the service industry and how people treat them, and I don't want to be that guy. And especially when it's already a stereotype because of some of us. I have a party of 12, like my daughter say, a party of 12, demand all this stuff from you, and then don't even want to tip anything. Okay? So if you don't like tipping, that may not be for you. But the tipping's not much. But let's get back to it. Got to get on screen and explain that. All right. So they say about the open air market, say on display, they say you see fabrics of different materials. Now fabrics is also good. They say designs, colors, textures, etc. You purchase or you stay at the move and pick, breakfast, lunch, and dinner included. Okay, the third day is the property tour. After breakfast, you will depart your hotel to tour various properties in Oyibi and Aburi. And you go back to the hotel that day. So it's a full day of property touring. Day 4, same thing. Property touring again. This is we can make a reality for you if you could actually be there. Or if you don't really want to be there, let's say you want to get a property, do Airbnb. It could be an investment property. Doesn't mean because you buy a property that you just got to move everything there. I'm a firm believer we need to have several investment properties as black folk. We need to have an option that we can go anywhere we want to just in case something going on. I know y'all seen that mess with China recently about that balloon and all that. China done got bold, haven't they? They got real bold. So I'm just saying, you don't know what's going to come out of some of that stuff. They're already talking about a war with them people. Anyway, so that Thursday property tour, Chris, doing again, say Pram and Tema and overnight. That Friday, you will check out your hotel and depart to Cape Coast. And upon arrival in the afternoon, you spend over the Coconut Grove Beach Resort. All this stuff you can click and look at it yourself. Day 7, the Canopy Walkway and Cocoon Rainforest, the Slave Dungeon Experience. Of course, some people want to see that. Some people don't. For me, I got to go see it. I got to go film it. I really got to, feel that spirit that's in there that everybody say that's there. Because I know that spirit that was in there in Nelson Mandela's jail, that was something. So I know the spirit of our ancestors is still in there. Now, some people feel I don't want to see it, X, Y, Z. I got to go. I got to capture that, because that's part of what happened to our people, our Black American ancestors. And of course, they talk about all of that, the forts, the castles, slave dungeons, say history unfold, about the slave trade, which is still impact, it fell on the shores of Africa today. They say they're talking about visiting Cape Coast Castle, built by the Swedes in 1653. They're saying was later taken over by the British. So here you learn about the relationship between the Western slave traders and the African tribes that made the transatlantic slave trade possible. It says opportunity to be up and close in history. They say stay in the dark and stuffy dungeons, imagining the experience and conditions that millions of Africans endured. They say this castle also housed West African Historical Museum. Of course, you stay at Coconut Grove. Then they say here, day 8, Sunday, Elmina Castle, farewell and departure. You go to breakfast, spend morning at the leisure, 11 a.m., visit Elmina Castle, known as St. George's Castle, which was built by the Portuguese in 1482. So you'll learn about the relationship between the Western slave traders and African tribes that participated in transatlantic slave trade. So here participants will witness the darkest study. They talk about all that again. So they're not hiding the history that certain tribes was a part of it. They're not hiding it, and it should not be hidden. We should know who did what, ladies and gentlemen. So, like I said, for me, I'm going to go. I got to see it myself. I don't want to be hearing what people got to say. Because one thing, me and my wife was having a discussion about, that earlier. It's one thing when you hear something. It's another thing is when you go and experience it yourself. Like I can hear about, and I've been hearing about Ghana for a long time, and I've never been. So I say, yeah, I want to go do that. I want to go see, but I wasn't going to go to Ghana until after the virus situation because I didn't like the way that was handled, but that's over with, fine. So October 1 through 8, sign up. The deposit. Now, when you go, hold on, let me go to one thing here. I forgot to show y'all. Hold on. Okay, pricing. Yeah, let me get down there. Let me go back to my screen here. Just give me 2 seconds. Go back to pricing. Pricing. All right. So October 1 through 8, the initial deposit is $750. You can do a monthly installment plan. I say get on it and jump on it now. Some people getting the income tax back and all that. I look at it, hey, it's free money. Why don't the United States government pay for your time to visit Ghana? You know, like I say, if you never go to the African continent, at least go one time. I tell all y'all that. Go once. I'm not telling you got to move. I'm not telling you anything. I say just go see it for yourself. Once you go see it for yourself, I've told you this many times before. Once you go see it for yourself, I done done my job. My job, in my opinion, is to get you there. Once you're there, either you're going to like it and you're going to come back on your own, or you'll say, nah, that's not for me, but at least I went. Because you don't want to be on your deathbed one day and be your life going across you and you never been out your neighborhood. You never been out your city. You never been out of anywhere. The whole earth you never saw. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how any of us live like that we never leave our city, never leave our neighborhood. How do you stay insulated in one place when you have a big earth that we need to see as black people? So, $750 initial deposit, but you can pay monthly. So, we're looking at right now February. You got some time to do that. So, it's not like you got to do it all right now, okay? So, we just want to make sure to put that up and offer that to the people. And hold on, let me get to Brother Marlon. He said, good day for your little channel. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Brother Marlon, for the super chat. And yeah, and Great Black Shark even told y'all, at least go one time, once. I went one time. I never had a desire to go to no African country. You better believe that. I was cool right where I was at, like all y'all say. I mean, I'm good. I don't have to go nowhere until I was invited. Until the people in Ethiopia invited me to go, and I didn't know what I was getting into. I never been to no international country outside of Mexico. I'm gonna go. All those probably have been in Mexico. Outside of Mexico, that was the only country I've been to outside the United States. So I was like, yeah, okay, this is cool. I never been. I did so much research in Ethiopia. I researched their history. I researched their food. I was going to the Ethiopian restaurants before I even went to Ethiopia, just so I didn't have no culture shock about the food and find out, man, I really liked it, right? So I went, and man, when I went, it was like I got upset. I got upset because I felt like cheated. I felt cheated because I was like, this was here all this time, and nobody really pushed me to go. Nobody told me about any of this. And I just felt so good seeing like people that look like me everywhere. I said, man, this is how white people feel in America for the most part, because more people look like them than they look like me, right? Of course, now you have more and more people come in since 2018 and now. You know, had millions of people then just kind of flooded this country. So things are changing, but just in a sense, you know, and you don't feel like, oh, the police and you don't feel that way. So it was a different, you know, it was a change for me. So I just want you to go experience that yourself. And some people may not want to go by themselves, because you can go by yourself. You don't have to go on no tour. But I would say if you want to go with other people and you don't want to be by yourself, because sometimes people may not have another, you know, friend or family member to go there, but they still want to go. So take advantage of that. Next time you may can go by yourself, right? And do things on your own. But that's all. We just want to give that opportunity. But once again, make sure you get on that now, because I don't want to get a bunch of emails later when they say they sold out. So go down there, and what you're going to do outside of that, let me go back here. So you're going to go here. Where is it at? Hold on. I know it's somewhere down here. All right. So then you'll make a request or inquiry. Put in your name, your email, your phone number. Make sure you put +1 on there. +1. +1 is our country, you know, our country code. +1. Then you I'm in Houston, so 832, whatever, right? So wherever you at. And then, you know, just write your message out, you know, and just say, hey, you know, I'm interested in going on a tour, seeing it from African Diaspora News Channel. You know, what I got to do to get this started. I want to pay my deposit and all of that. And then they will take care of you there. All payments go to them. Any inquiries about visas, passports, any of that, ask them. I'm not the guy to ask. That's not my department. I'm creating too much content for that. So just want to make sure we start off the stream giving you the information that you have been asking for. All right. Cedric, you asked me something that's dead and gone, Cedric. It's dead and gone. We are moved on to other things, and because of the changes that we made, we actually grown bigger and better. When I made this change in 2018 from Advice Show to African Diaspora, we have went more so on an international scale. By that time period, I was by myself doing everything. I was the editor. I was the graphic designer. I was the market guy. I was the everything. Me and my poor wife trying to do all the taxes by herself. Oh my God, my poor wife. We were doing everything by ourselves. When it became Advice Show, eventually African Diaspora, we start forming a team. The team I have is a great group of people from this country, right here in America, brothers and sisters right here in America. We got, one brother in Ghana. We got, Sister Wangel and Brother Elvis in Kenya. So that's at least, and then we got another brother in Nigeria that we had brought in for graphic design as well. So we got people in 3 African countries that's doing things with us now. So I didn't have any of that option when I had, it was Advice Show. I was solo dolo, and I wouldn't go back to that to save my life. I like how it is now. It's freeing me up to do a few more things. It's getting very, very interesting, actually, more so than what you think. Certain things coming together. At one point in time, I was doing even our payroll, everything I was doing on my own, and now I got a payroll company. Oh boy, things are just getting so much better, thank the Lord. It's getting so much better because we're growing. And we appreciate, the people viewing, the people donating, and say, and also, let me talk about that. Payroll is a heavy thing for us. It is, but it's a beautiful thing. And I don't mind someone taking some of the content from here and making a commentary. Like, you took a clip, you're making commentary. You kind of reviewing it. Even if you disagree with me, I'm fine with that. That is cool. But one thing that we can't do at this point, because you're literally taking funds out of other brothers and sisters' back pockets, not just mine, because I'm more so focused on making sure everyone that do something for us get paid on time. I don't want my name or our company name in the streets that we owe people money because we ain't paid them for what they did. So in order for us to even get more, so we can give the brothers and sisters, more, we can't have our content just out there everywhere and people taking it, and then we can't do that. So if you're making a commentary and it's just, hey, you commenting on it, you doing that's perfectly fine to me. That's even perfectly legal to do. That's called fair use. But if you're just taking the whole interview and reposting it to your channel, and then I look up, you caking 100,000 views on an interview that Kellen had to go talk to, set that up. I had to take time out of my day to do that. I had to get my graphic designer to tell her what can we do with this, put this together with that. Then we gotta upload it, gotta make sure it clears everything. It's like so many different people that I'm having involved with to do different things. It's not just me anymore, I told you that. It's editors, graphic designers, Kellen, other people I gotta deal with just to put up content. So I can't just have you just straight just ripping it and you're not even doing a commentary. So if you're gonna just rip it and not do a commentary, we're gonna have to go ahead on and get that taken down. Now, I've been nice about it to give people a 7-day, window to take it down on their own, in which I prefer you do that on your own. But if you just take an interview of mine, like a straight interview for an hour, I'm not gonna give you 7 days. The other stuff I will, but that stuff, no, because you're taking funds out of the back pocket of other brothers and sisters that want to get paid more, and I want to pay them more. So I'm just letting you know this ahead of time. 2023, I'm not doing it, and from now on, I'm just not. So, with that being said, now if a person's in an interview with me and they do it, they have every right to because they're in the interview with me. They're on there, so they can take the whole interview and put it up. That's fine. But just somebody doing it, no. Because one person I didn't like that did that, the only reason I didn't do something about it because I knew him. But don't do that, please. At least if you're gonna do something like that, ask. Don't just take the stuff like that and then be caking caking on it. No, I mean, you set your own interview up and you do it. I don't take nobody's stuff and just put it on my channel. And no, because I can make a whole lot of money off other people's content if I wanted to, and I'm not going to do it because it wouldn't be right to them. But anyway, just want to make sure to clear the air. Let me see here. You can go down here, go down here. You know, you say, have I ever been to Fiji? No, I have not been to Fiji yet. And, I've been taking a while. All right, so let's get to the meat of what we're talking about here. So as you can see the title, The Coveted Black Vote. We're going to kind of go through some things here, just do some talking. So let me get my other screen up here. All right. All right, so black voters, as we looking at my notes here, let's say especially they've been voting as a voting bloc. You know, they often play an integral part of presidents winning elections. Now, they say black Americans voted in the presidential elections, they say in large numbers starting in 1928. We're talking about some black history here. They say with most of their votes going to the Republican candidate, Herbert Hoover. So yes, at one point in time, the majority of black votes went to Republicans. They say many blacks voted Republican because of their perception, they say, as the party of Abraham Lincoln, the emancipator. They say in 1932, it's a number of blacks in the northern states bolted from the GOP to Democrat Franklin Roosevelt. They say due to the great effects of the Great Depression. Now, anybody mostly do that. If a president is not performing, then usually you're going to vote the other side. And black people did that. The Republicans were doing horrible, had the Great Depression. So black folks say, hey, let's go vote Democrat, with Franklin Roosevelt. Now, Jennifer Scanlon, as a professor of humanities at Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, said that one reason, and say why black people rallied to Harry Truman in 1948 is that black people as a constituency had not yet exercised national influence over a presidential election, but in 1948, some thought that can be that year. Now, Scanlon noted that while black people favored Roosevelt, they voted Republican in congressional, state, and local races because of many white Democrats' pro-segregation stances. See, a lot of people don't like to talk about black history when it comes to the Democrat Party and how racist they really were. And really, are they really not racist today against black folks, though? I mean, let's think about that. They do everything for everybody else, right in our face. It's like, it's not that they're hiding what they're doing. They do it in our face. They literally did. You went out there and voted in 2020. They told you that Trump was the racist and we need to get him out. And how the media was putting it was Trump was responsible for what happened to George Floyd, which he wasn't. He knew George Floyd was. And the media scared y'all and said, oh boy, if Trump get back in there, this is going to keep happening. How many people died during Obama? People dying like this constantly during Obama. I know because I covered it. So you act like when Obama got in there, it was peace in the valley for black folk for 8 years. When Obama got in there in 2008, it was like a movement to go vote for him. Obama got a lot of votes. I remember that black folks was going from door to door on their own. Say, hey man, we possibly had a first black president. Man, you ever voted in your life? Nah, man, I never voted. Man, how I go out and vote? I don't never know how to do that. Man, you gotta get registered, man. Get registered. Everybody wearing Obama t-shirts. Come on now. Yeah, I know those of you, I'm not that old. I know y'all remember that. Everybody walk around with an Obama t-shirt, talking about next president, all that. Hell, I was proud to see Barack Obama. I was so proud of him. To see him and Michelle and their children. A nuclear family that didn't look crazy. Michelle didn't look crazy. She was very educated. She was a smart woman. They had their children. I mean, what more did you want to see as a black person at that time period? They was like the perfect representation for us to go vote for them at the time. And so when we saw that, and we saw how eloquent Barack Obama was, and we saw, how he knew how to, talk to the people as well, and He knew how to get people going. All that. They say, man, we got to vote for this dude. And even brothers and sisters in the community say, hey, let's go vote for him. Minister Farrakhan was saying, hey, we need to go vote for him. All the other activists at the time were saying, hey, let's get together, let's go vote. The whole black community got together to go vote for Barack Obama at that time period. So when they say black people don't vote, black people don't want to, or they want to say we don't believe in voting as we should, more of us should vote, all they got to go back is to the Barack Obama and see how we literally turned that into a movement. I mean, shoot, even Jeezy came out with a song saying my president is black. I mean, even hip hop was getting involved and being excited about that. Prior to that, you didn't hear them talking about no voting. Now let's continue. So at that time period, it says Scanlon credits, they say the efforts of black political activist Anna Arnold Hedgerman, they say of New York City for increasing Truman's support among blacks in the 1948 election. I say Hedgeman, they say, facilitated a rally in Harlem, then informally known as the capital of black America. Oh boy, let's stop there. Let's stop right there. Hold on. Oh boy, I would have loved to see Harlem back in that time period. Because when I went to Harlem, brothers and sisters, last time, let me get to my other screen here so I can kind of see what y'all talking about here. Give me a second. I just want to see what y'all talking about. Okay. When I went to Harlem for the first time, oh, I loved it. Oh, and I went down there to 125th Street. But then I got down on the streets talking to the brothers and sisters. And they were telling me repeatedly, man, Harlem not looking like Harlem no more. And they pointed out, and they say, look, you see why? And they had like a little white woman walking a dog. They said, this was never here. They said, when she and people like her got in this community, all of a sudden the trash got picked up. You can't, nothing's dirty out here no more in Harlem. And until she and her people showed up. They say, but yeah, it may be cleaner, but it's not Harlem no more. And this is what brothers and sisters telling me. And when they telling me this, they were telling me like in a sad sense. You know what I'm saying? Like broken-hearted kind of conversation, like we're losing Harlem. This was our stuff. And these people are taking what used to be called the capital of black America. You taking all that, you taking this away from us. And because black folks' economic conditions, what they in, and because even though black folks go vote Democrat in New York City, and shout out to my people in New York City. Like I said before, y'all are the city that watch us the most, so shout out to y'all. Even if they go vote a Democrat in, what happens to black people? You got Eric Adams, a Democrat. I don't know why they thought going vote in a NYPD cop would be the good thing to do. But you go vote in Eric Adams, and he is prioritizing people that come across the illegally over a lot of black people in Harlem. Black people have been writing me and telling me, even in the quote-unquote hood, they're charging $1,700 and $1,800 a month for rent. In the hood. We're not talking about no upper echelon. We're talking about in the hood. But you got people that come across the border and was staying in a $450 a night hotel. None of those people voted. Black New Yorkers voted. And look how black New Yorkers are treated. Losing Harlem and watching people who didn't pay a dime of taxes to this country, didn't bleed for this country, didn't go overseas and die for this country, didn't go through the black codes, didn't go through Jim Crow, didn't go through slavery or any of that, they can come across because the capitalists prefer them because they're going to pay them low wages. Because understand, the people that's coming over here, they're going to be the new slaves. If you don't understand capitalism, I don't know what to tell you. Because they got to pay you right. They don't have to pay them right. And they can hold over their head a green card. They can't hold nothing over your head. So Eric Adams had them in a $450 a night hotel. Some of y'all may know the name of that hotel. It slipped my mind. Some of you from New York, you can put that in the chat and I'll check it out. He moved them to a Brooklyn terminal, port terminal, something like that recently. They say he moved them. You know, they had people complaining and activists saying that he's wrong for moving them out of a $450 a night hotel to over there, wherever this Port Brooklyn terminal is at. And some of y'all from New York may know, whoever see the video. What I would say to these activists, why don't you go pay $450 a night for one of those families? Why can't homeless people be in that hotel for $450 a night? And I was reading a study recently about homelessness in America. Black Americans are the most homeless people out of anybody. You name a city, you name a state. Black folks lead in homelessness. So black people who are homeless in New York got to stay on the doggone street in the cold. When last time I went to New York back in November, because I had to go to New York for about one night because I had to catch my flight to Kenya. We walking, it was, oh my God, it was cold. I can't see how anybody's out there like that. I mean, you can get frostbite. You can get, anything can happen to you out there. You can just go to sleep and not wake up because you just froze to death. And we have black folks on the street freezing while people come across and be laid up in a $450 a night hotel. But you know, we like to go vote Democrat. That's what we do. Democrats, they love to keep your mind off of stuff, so they make sure to give you, some cannabis. Because, if they keep you high, then you can't think straight. Because you're not focusing on them, you're focusing on the next high. Understand? Continuing. So they said that where Truman spoke, they said the first time they said a president visited a New York City neighborhood. Let me get back to my other screen here. They say when the election results came in, New York strongly went to Republican Thomas Dewey. They say he was a governor of the state, but Truman defeated him in Harlem by 90,000 votes to 25,000. That's a scandal. Said Truman won. They said in 1948. They say by a narrow margin nationally, thanks in part to black electorate in northern states like New York. They say in 1956, we're talking about black history here, President Dwight Eisenhower sought re-election to a second term. Eisenhower campaigned, they say, in neighborhoods in northern cities, talking about his role in abolishing segregation, in the military, integrating Washington, D.C., and hiring more black Americans in the foreign service than ever before, as according to an article by Lincoln Fitch, a scholar at Gettysburg College. Now, y'all talking about D.C. I seen people in the chat talking about how D.C. is being hella gentrified. It's interesting. They integrated you into it, and now they're gentrifying you out. And it's all about economics. So see, there's laws to say, if you put up there and say no blacks allowed, there's a law against that. There's no law against gentrification. And the folks gonna find a way to do it. They say, hey, this isn't no racist. It's just we raising the prices. And it's interesting how after these rent moratoriums, how they just went crazy at raising the prices, on the people. And no local governments is getting in check with that. Another issue that's going out here that's major that we all need to get a part of. Do you know these companies from China come in, buy up all these single family homes and then put them for rent? They're doing that in here. I don't know why they even allowed to do that. It was no American companies going over there to China, buying up all their homes and say, oh, now you can rent it from us, but you can't own anything. Buying up all the inventory that people need, especially brothers and sisters in the community, need for their families. Oh, you can rent it, but you can't buy it. Then on top of that, the interest rates are so freaking high right now that it's like, if you get a house, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, what they're doing in this country. This is why when you need to go on that Ghana trip, and you need to go look at the real estate over there. You need to see it because that's important. Because they're literally pricing you out. Or you can't even afford to stay somewhere. Then you say, okay, well, I'll get an apartment. They're pricing you out of that. They want 3 times the rent. Most Americans don't make 3 times the rent on average. Now, maybe if you got a husband or a wife, y'all got maybe two incomes, okay. But if you're a single person, which a lot of black people are, you don't make 3 times the rent unless you're a nurse or a doctor, or a lawyer, or maybe a pretty good, content creator, or, something where you're making good money. Because even if you're a content creator, don't mean you're making money like that. But they're pricing people out on rent. It's utterly crazy. Continuing. They say Eisenhower, went on to win re-election over Democrat Adlai Stevenson. They say when Representative Adam Clayton Powell, a Democrat from New York, who represented Harlem, in the Congress supported Eisenhower. Fish pointed out that Eisenhower won 36% of the black vote in that election. A feat no Republican has matched since. And we have, I think, Donald Trump got I think either close to 10% or something like that, but nobody has ever got that much of the black vote. Then there was a 1960 election when then Democratic Senator John F. Kennedy called Coretta Scott King, wife of civil rights leader, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., while her husband languished in the Atlanta jail. According to a PBS.org article, it revealed Kennedy's brother Robert convinced an Atlanta judge to grant Dr. King bail. The piece also, reported King's father, known as Daddy King, switched his alliance from Republican candidate Vice President Richard Nixon to Kennedy. That sparked, many Northern blacks to switch their votes to the senator. Kennedy barely won the election, with the black vote playing a decisive role in states such as Illinois, Michigan, and New York. With the passing of the Voting Rights Act in 1965, black voter participation increased substantially in the late 1960s and beyond. However, a November 3rd, 1976 article in the Harvard Crimson written by Seth Kaplan and James Kaplan said the black vote put former Governor Jimmy Carter, a Democrat, over incumbent Republican President Gerald Ford in that year's presidential election. Carter carried 10 out of 11 states of the old Confederacy due to Southern whites and blacks voting for him. Carter also won states such as Pennsylvania and New York on the strength of the black vote. Kaplan's report said black vote made all the difference. In 1992, when Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton, a Democrat, defeated Republican President George W. Bush and independent Ross Perot. And I would say, beyond with you, to look back on that, I think Ross Perot would have been a better choice. I really liked Ross Perot and what he was pushing. Remember, Ross Perot was over Texas Instruments. Ross Perot, I think he was he a billionaire at the time? I think he was. I really liked how Ross Perot talked. Anybody that's like business minded and tell me about certain things on business, they get my ear, because I guess because I like business like that. But that was a fatal mistake, because with Bill Clinton came in what, ladies and gentlemen? What did Bill Clinton famously do to harm the black community? I'm going to go to the chat. What did Bill Clinton do to hurt our community? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. And credit scores came in the late 80s. At one point in time, we didn't have to worry about credit scores. But what did Bill Clinton do to hurt the black community? If you think about it, what did he do? I just want to know. What did he do? I'm just checking to see if y'all know what Bill Clinton done to the black community. And remember, in this time period, it was still during the crack epidemic. So what did he do? There we go. There we go. I know we got some scholarly black folks in here. I knew. That's why I wanted to ask that question. I didn't want to say, because I know y'all smart. Hey, a lot of y'all probably even smarter than me. I know. There you go. All right. Yes, Joe Biden was a senator at the time. He was. And yes, he helped write the crime bill, but who signed it into law? It was Bill Clinton. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Clinton went on the Arsenio Hall show. Those of you who are old enough remember Arsenio Hall. And he went on there playing the saxophone, ladies and gentlemen. And he, hold on a second. He had some shades on. And oh yeah, he was playing. He had black folk. Come on, y'all, that remember this. He had telling black folks to run around here. I know it's crazy to hear this. He will be the first black president. I'm not making it up. He would. He played a saxophone. He had smoked some weed. Oh yeah, he'll be the first black president. Not Barack Obama was your first black president. It was Bill Clinton that was your first black president. Did y'all know that? That Bill Clinton was your first black president? Oh yes. Bill Clinton also put in all these laws with welfare. He's the one that put in that if you a brother or sister to get out of jail and you got a felony, you couldn't be getting places to stay. That was him. That was him. A Democrat. He did it. All these draconian child support laws they have, he really, because at first they wasn't jailing you for that. They would bring you in and hey, what you gonna do to pay and all that. And they can do different things to make you pay. But he's the one brought in jailing you for child support. I'm not a guy to say men shouldn't take care of parents. Let me not say men. Parents shouldn't take care of their responsibilities. I took care of mine. I paid my child support. I'm complete. Okay? I got refunds back from the state of Texas. 2 refund checks. $1,900, almost $2,000, and another one about $947. So I can talk about this because I overpaid in child support. That's why they send me money back. But I still think nobody should be going to jail for child support. Sorry. That's a civil case. That's not criminal law. We need criminals that's on the streets need to be put in jail. There's many ways that I can even get somebody to pay child support if I was a judge. Many, many ways. How would jailing somebody make them pay child support? How? You can't make somebody pay child support when they're in jail. And then when they're in jail, the child support keep racking up and the interest keep racking up. So it's not like, some people say, well, I got some tickets. I'm gonna sit out my tickets. There's how people do that. Well, you got so many tickets, man. I'm gonna sit out for like a week in county, and my tickets are clear. You can go sit in county for whatever amount of time they say and clear your speeding tickets out if you want to sit in jail, if you like jail. But that won't work with child support. It don't work. You can't go sit it out and clear your slate. No, it don't work like that. They still tack it on to you. And then you look at years later, it haven't made nobody pay anything that who owes. So what was that about? No, they'll build another prison industrial complex. So he sit up there, put in that 3 strikes law, incentivize states to build prisons. Hey, if you build this many prisons, we'll give you so many billions of dollars. And if you do build them and you arrest somebody that has crack cocaine, not the dealer. Look, the dealer that's carrying weight, that's one thing. No, if you are a person in that time period that had a paraphernalia on you, like a crack pipe, a rock, even some residue, they can hit you. They were hitting you with possession, and they were treating you like you freaking big meats or something. As a user, they were hitting you with time like you were big meats. Because the real dealers, the big time dealers, didn't have the rock on them. They dealt with the powder. And in the racism in that, if you got caught with powder cocaine, you didn't get the time like you got caught with crack. That drug, cocaine, makes crack, but they gave 100 to 1 sentence for crack cocaine. And the people who were using crack cocaine the most was us. And they created all these specialized units because that bill also incentivized them to create specialized units. You're talking about that Scorpion unit? That same bill incentivized them to create these units to go running up in black people's house. Because I remember it. Run up in black people's house. And when they go in there, they trying to get everybody. They trying to not only get the person using, they want the auntie, they'll try to get the auntie, the grandma, hell, they may the grandpa, they'll probably even get the dog. Oh, you got it too? Let me go and put you in jail. I mean that's how it was. But then you fast forward to today, when they people out there in what's that? Is it Kensington Street in Philadelphia? I think that's the name of that street. Well, you got all these folks, them folks, strung out. They say they using the doggone fentanyl and all that right in front of the police. The police sit up there watching them do it. None of them getting arrested. Nobody gaffing them up. Nobody going to their house, busting down the door and everything. None of that. They using right in front of the police. But when it was us, 3 strikes. But that law don't apply to them. I thought 3 strikes and you out. That law don't apply to them. The Kensington Street, they don't apply to them in Philly. When you see all them folks laid out there was in Portland, all them other places like that, where them folks are laid out on drugs, San Francisco, the 3 strikes law, I guess it don't work for them. That was only for black people. And who put that law in? Bill Clinton, a Democrat. But you want to get mad at me when I talk about the Democrat Party. I'm talking about what they done to us. How you sit up there and go be cool with that party when we got a documented history how they harmed us, and you Boulay members was right along with him when he signed that 1994 crime bill. Shame on black folk. Yeah, they strung out, but they're not going to jail. Who said that? Mike C. We were strung out too, but we went to jail. They strung out, they not going to jail. They doing it right in front of the police. And the police not doing nothing but going over there with some Narcan. Oh, let's try to help them. They overdosed. They didn't try to help no crackheads. Not a one. Police robbing drug dealers of their money, robbing them of their drugs. Police are doing that. Police will go in these black communities and get the girls on the blade and threaten them like, well, look, if you don't do something with me, I'm gonna take you to jail. This is all the dirt they was doing in the black communities. People that know from the black community, listen. What I saw in the community during that time period is what sparked me to want to work hard so my child or children would never see 1 minute of that. That time was not good for black people. In that Democrat Party, you talk about single mother issues, we didn't have a single mother problem prior to 1994. The single mother problem came in is when they came in and just rounding up black people, especially a lot of black men. The prison population exploded with black men after that. And who did that? The Democrats. We talking about history here. Black history. American history. Well, let's continue. So I won't, football numbers, as the brother said. Football numbers for possession. Now, they say election statistics revealed that Bill Clinton won in 1992 with 83% of the black vote. And his reelection, this is after the crime bill. He was reelected 4 years later, with 84% of the black vote. His wife called black people super predators, and black folks still went out there. Now, Clinton lost the white vote actually in 1992 and 96 by getting 39% and 43% of the vote. So he didn't even get the white vote like that. If black folks would actually have some pride about themselves in the following election, he would have lost. Now, of course, we go to Barack Obama. They say he lost the white vote in both his initial election in 2008 and his re-election effort. He only got 43%. In the former and 39% in the latter. However, political analysis noted that Obama's black vote was at 95%, which, yes, almost every black person in the country voted. I explained that to y'all in the beginning. And 93% in 2012. Now, I did not vote for Barack Obama in 2012. And the reason why I didn't vote for Barack Obama in 2012, I didn't like the way he was talking to us. he was talking at us and talking down to us, but he never talked that way to white people. Not one time. Then you remember Obama in '08. Obama wasn't pushing all that LGBT stuff. He started pushing that later. He was actually, if you go study the history, he was actually against all that LGBT stuff being pushed. But after that 2012 election, he went hardcore for that. I mean, to the point like, man, really? I mean, okay, I can understand you maybe want to be inclusive or something, but dog, you gonna put a rainbow flag on the White House? Like, this is what we doing? Like, seriously? Every time somebody came out talking about, oh, now I'm openly, LGBT, he picking up the phone and calling them? Like, what? And I couldn't understand it. I'm like, I would call somebody that would invent something great that can help further the nation. I would call somebody like a hero, or somebody that saved some people out of a burning building, or somebody that, brought a job, a company that brought a company in, hired a bunch of people in the low income area, gave them great jobs, something that I could celebrate. What is it a celebration of what somebody do in their bedroom? I mean, if that's the case, why did he call me? You know what I'm saying? Why he didn't call you? Why was it to him at that time period so much of a thing when somebody came out and said, okay, this is what I'm doing openly? Because I said at the time, well, if they want to be treated like everybody else don't have a fanfare, when they living their life. And all that he was doing, and then he got on he did the Dreamer thing. Trump was trying to even overturn that. He still couldn't do it. I'm like, bruh, we voted for you 95%, 93%. What did you do specifically for us? What? He did more for other people. Like I said, he did more for immigrants, and I'm going to say illegal ones, not legal ones. He did more for LGBT, in my opinion. People say, well, healthcare. Like, do you really know about that healthcare market? Have you really studied that? You don't want to be on that. It's too expensive. A lot of the plans that's on there are not going to get you much, and you're still going to come out of pocket. You do better getting your own private insurance personally and paying whatever that cost is. It's not the best in the world. The only thing I can say good about that bill that they did was allowing you to cover your children until you're 26. That was good. I'll give him that. The other portion I thought that was good was when he said you couldn't deny somebody for pre-existing conditions. That was good. I definitely will give Barack Obama praise for those two provisions. I will. I'll give credit where credit is due. Even if I disagree with you, I'll still give you credit. That was good. Because I can cover my kids all the way till they're 26. When kids are young, they don't have money for no insurance. When I was 18, I was taking off my parents' insurance. So at one point in time, I had no insurance until I got a job that offered insurance. So it was very important for me at the time to get a job that offered insurance. Some of y'all remember that. You got off your parents' insurance when you're 18 and all of that. You know how people treat you in America? You don't have no insurance, and then that's that. Now we fast forward all the way to 2020. Joe Biden, of course, I'm not going to fully go into some of that because I thought that election was interesting, but let me not go there because I don't want to get in trouble with the censors. But that election was interesting. The only thing I'm saying is I went to bed and the numbers were one way. When I woke up in the morning, all of a sudden, always in the middle of the night, 100,000 ballots, 200,000 ballots would just show up for, the president that we have now. I thought that was interesting. I've never seen that before. But hey, I won't go there. So they say he defeated Donald Trump with 87% of the black vote. So of course he did not get as much as Barack Obama, but he got 87%. And what has Mr. Biden, what has he done for black people? What has he actually done specifically for black people? I know what he did for the Asian community. I know what he did for them. I know what he's done for the Ukrainian people and what he's still doing for the Ukrainian people right now. Open check. Y'all talking about, and we all talking about reparations, right? And the most he'll say is, well, I support HR 40. You support a study, and y'all said many times, we're not saying we're paying, it's just a study. Well, dude, why are you even talking about it? You know what I'm saying? But let me tell y'all something. These Boulay members, they're going to be on your back coming up because we got with 2023 elections is next year. Yeah, 2024, right? Or is it this? Yeah, 2024 coming up. Campaigning is going to start this year. So now you're going to see Black Voters Matter and all of them come right back out. Now, if you follow our podcast, I broke down where all their funding comes from. They're not a grassroots organization. They're funded by them folks. And it's nothing that I had to do anything covert. It's just what they, because you are a nonprofit, your stuff is public, right? And then they put up their own stuff on their website, which is fine, and that's great, transparency. But they're funded by them folks, basically. People are making a lot of money to get you to go vote Democrat. Not just for you just to register to vote and you make your own decisions of. No. For you to go out and vote Democrat. When the Democrats have had a history of hurting us. They were pro-segregation. Fast forward all the way, you go to Clinton, was hurting and harming the black family to this day. You don't push marriage in the black community. You push degeneracy in the black community. That party is known to push degeneracy, to push people being deviants. Look at Hollywood. What political party controls California and Hollywood? Look all the filth that comes out of the music, all the filth that comes out of the TV shows, all that stuff, all the filth that you complain about is that political party. Now, a lot of y'all run around here talking about you Christian and you Muslim and everything else that you say you are, Hebrew Israelite and everything else. But you're not going to call out that wickedness that come out of Hollywood and that Democrat Party that's producing all these shows? They won't show a healthy nuclear family. And if they are showing a nuclear family, something got to be wrong with them. They can't just be a nuclear family. Thank you, James Mitchell. Appreciate it. And hold on, let me see here. Eric Gray. He said, 2011, former war correspondent and author Chris Hedges sued Barack Obama of the 2011 NDAA and won. Chris Hedges talks in great detail about it in various interviews. And, when it was Obama, he the one brought in that indefinite detention thing. Because you do know in the NDAA and even certain parts of the Patriot Act that they can hold you up to 36 hours just regular on the Patriot Act with no charges. And then, 72 hours. I'm sorry. 72 hours they can hold you with no charges under the Patriot Act. And under the NDAA, if you accuse like some terrorism, they can hold you indefinitely until they figure out what they want to do with you. Yeah, and Obama, look at all the mess he caused in Libya with Muammar Gaddafi. Libya was not in the chaos it is now until he gave the green light to go in that man's life. Just because Muammar Gaddafi wanted to bring the African continent together under one currency. He wanted them to have their own satellites for communications, so they wouldn't be paying $500 million a year to the West, okay? Just because he wanted to try to do that. People in Libya didn't have to worry about college because they paid for it. And if you're a married couple, they'll give you a place to stay. Man, that's a great way to incentivize somebody getting married, wouldn't it? Hey, married couples, if you young people, you get married, you got a place to stay. We got you at the government. Come on, who wouldn't? Like, man, really? Okay, cool. Maybe I like you, you like me. We together, we live in our, yeah, let's go ahead and get married. Shoot, we got a free place. We ain't got to worry about that. Every leader that's trying to do good, and that was the sad part. Barack Obama had a hand in that. Now, I remember when Muammar Gaddafi said he was happy to see Barack Obama be the president. He said he's a son of Africa, and I really want to work with him. He said because he didn't want to deal with all the other presidents, but he wanted to work with him. Under Obama, AFRICOM was started. That's a military wing in the United States military that's positioned in the African continent. AFRICOM, look it up. All this mess started happening underneath Obama. Not him going to the continent and trying to make good deals with the brothers and sisters. At least the Chinese, at least they go build you a road. They'll go build you some bridges. They'll build you an airport if they want to get something out you. At least they play the game a little bit better. You didn't go do crap for the brothers and sisters over there. And they was expecting you to. Obama go over there to Kenya and try to tell them about LGBT. And Kenya's like, hell no. Man, take that mess back to the U.S. Where you will come from with that. This is not our culture here. If you want to give us some money, we got to accept that, keep your money. That's what Kenyans said. And they felt disrespected by Barack Obama for coming over there with that. Look it up. I'm not lying. Look it up. I'll talk to Kenyans about it. Some Kenyans will tell you about, oh yeah, we ain't like that. That's not our culture here. That's what they say. This is not our culture. He said, that's somebody else's culture. It's not ours. Yeah. Hey, people have a right to determine their culture. Ghana right now is about to put some laws on the books about that. And here come the Western world trying to say Ghana is wrong. You can't tell somebody what's right and wrong in their country. They don't come over here telling us what's right and wrong here. Why are you telling Ghana there's something wrong with it? It's not their culture. They don't rock with that. In the Caribbean, they definitely don't rock with that because they did a lot of that mess in the Caribbean during slavery. You can't tell people how they feel. You remember they were trying to get mad at the Jamaicans because they didn't support that, and they ended up putting up. It was in the Jamaican embassy, I think in the Ghanaian embassy too, the LGBT flag. Of course, this didn't happen during Trump. This happened when Biden got in office. This disrespectful to black people. Then you look at Biden, a Democrat. He let everybody else come over here, but when the Haitian black people try to come in here, oh nope, get your behind on that plane, get back over there to Haiti. Haiti's in chaos. Haiti didn't become in chaos until he got in office, now was it? All of a sudden, something happens to the president. Because the president, at that time period, didn't want nothing to do with their solution to the global problem. I'm trying to say this in another way. Brought in some Colombians to go over there, basically some paramilitary contractors to go in there and take out the president of Haiti. And the place been in chaos ever since. Haiti had some of the lowest rate of that virus. Because I covered it. And they could not understand why Haitians was not getting that. But oh, no. We got to mess with Haiti. You always got to mess with Haiti. Just because Haiti, how dared Haiti defeated them in battle. They pick on Haiti. They pick on Cuba. But you let the Chinese had a whole satellite over here. You ain't go over there and attack them. Why don't you go over there and attack them? Go attack them. That's what I want to see. Go attack them. When it comes to black folks that in a position they can't defend themselves, that's who you go mess with, unarmed black people. You go mess with them. I want y'all to go over there and get at them Chinese. You got a reason now. They was up here spying on your country. They was in your ass space. You got every right now to go over there and say that's a declaration of war. Get at them. Like y'all afraid to. What happened? Y'all afraid the Chinese? They got y'all by the balls like that? Come on now. Show them Chinese that y'all don't play. How dare they sit up there and put weather balloon, alleged weather balloon, to spy on your nuclear sites, and you don't respond? Oh no, y'all got to do something now. Come on now, just imagine they were black and did it. Just put that in your mind. Can you imagine a black country doing something like that? Oh boy, it'd be hell to pay. But scared of them Chinese, aren't they? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. It was greatly appreciated. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure in the pinned comment if you want to go on the Ghana trip. It's only 25. I'm going to get a report every week to find out exactly how many people signed up, how many left, and I'll give you reports on that. I know it's not going to last long, so it's only 25 people. So make sure you make your deposit to get in on that. But thank you, ladies.